On Tuesday, November 3rd, voters who didn't already vote by mail or by absentee went to the polls to determine the outcome of races at the federal, state, county, and local level. The state of Michigan reported over 5.5 million ballots were cast, the most ever in the state's history. 71% of registered voters took part in the election. Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson reports that 3.5 million absentee ballots were cast in this COVID-19 impacted election. In Oakland County, almost 75% of registered voters took part in the November 2020 election. Here are the unofficial results. Former Vice President Joe Biden received 433,982 votes in Oakland County, with Donald Trump receiving 325,916 votes. Biden won the state of Michigan with 50.6% of the votes and securing the state's 16 electoral college votes. Nationally, although votes are still being counted as of this recording, Biden was projected to surpass the 270 electoral college votes needed to win the office of the presidency. Barring any legal challenges, Biden will be sworn in as the 46th president of the United States, along with his vice president Kamala Harris, on Inauguration Day, January 20th, 2021. In the race for United States Senator representing Michigan's 14th congressional district, Democrat Garrick Peters held off Republican challenger John James by a narrow margin of 84,000 votes in Michigan, with 418,156 votes to 334,569 in Oakland County. In the race for 8th District Representative in Congress, incumbent Elissa Slotkin took the lead late and held on to win Michigan, 217,928 votes to Republican challenger Paul Young's 202,517 votes. Young took Oakland County by more than 14,000 votes.
The same tried and true things that I get stopped in the grocery store about are still up there, right? The price of healthcare, especially as people lose their jobs. The price of prescription drugs, especially as packages are taking longer and longer to come in the mail. I've been hearing from a lot of people unable to get their prescription drugs on time. And then, in Michigan, we're always going to be the place that cares about clean water, both our waters, our rivers and lakes, but also our drinking water. And then, frankly, the big one that I still believe in my bones, is bringing some civility and decency back to Washington. I'm out here with Chris Barnett. We are from different parties, but when it comes to working on the community, helping people in our community, that's not a partisan issue. And so making sure that we set that example, especially as a representative of Michigan, where we're a swing state, and it's about getting work done, not the vitriol that we see every day on our screens.
In the race to represent the 46th District and State Legislature, Republican John Reilly held off challenger Jody LaMacchia with 36,258 votes to 22,216.
What are some of the things I've stood for while I've been in Lansing? Well, first I would say to reduce the cost of living for Michiganders. Some of those ways have been through reduction of auto insurance costs, or actually I would say more choices in auto insurance, which can lead to lower cost. I've worked at trying to reduce electricity cost. Michigan has a monopoly situation between two electric companies getting 90% of electricity in the state, and that's something that I'd like to see changed and have worked on. And then also corporate welfare. Corporate welfare is a real problem in the state. That's one area where I've worked with Democrats on the other side of the aisle. We've come together, have some bill packages where we're trying to stop this corporate welfare that's going on in the state.
Following the passing of Oakland County Executive L. Brooks Patterson, former Ferndale Mayor David Coulter was appointed in August of 2019 to fill the vacancy. In his first election as the incumbent, Coulter held off Republican challenger Mike Cole for the remainder of the term ending on December 31st, and a full 4-year term by more than 80,000 votes.
When my team and I took office last year, we knew Oakland County was such a great place for so many people that we had to maintain that momentum. And we did that by passing a balanced 3-year budget supported by both parties that preserves Oakland County's fiscal strength and maintains our AAA bond rating. But my team and I also knew that in spite of everything that makes Oakland County so great, there are still ample opportunities for us to be even better. We started looking at areas where Oakland County's government needed to reflect the values of Oakland County's people.
After defeating incumbent prosecuting attorney Jessica Cooper in the August primary, Democrat Karen McDonald went on to face Republican Lynn Getz in the general election. McDonald emerged victorious after defeating Getz by more than 100,000 votes.
I'm a former Oakland County Circuit Court judge who served on the bench for 7 years until stepping down in 2019 to run for Oakland County Prosecutor. Although I loved being a judge, I stepped down from the bench because I believe Oakland County needs a prosecutor who will protect our communities while being smart on crime. Oakland County needs criminal justice reform, a movement which has been overwhelming bipartisan support across the state of Michigan. As a mom and an Oakland County resident, I want nothing more than to keep our children and communities safe. But we have to stop over-incarcerating people at a tremendous cost to the taxpayer for low-level, nonviolent crimes.
Longtime Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard fended off a challenge by Democrat Vincent Gregory and was elected to a sixth term with 407,000 votes to 340,000.
I'm proud to have been your sheriff since 1999, and I'm excited to serve for another 4 years. As we watch many of the events take place across the country, I want to assure you that we continue to strive to be the best law enforcement agency in the country. Many of the reforms being discussed, such as the duty to intervene, have been part of our policies and procedures for decades, and they're ingrained in the fabric of our agency. Our agency has been a national leader on reform and professionalism, and as a result of our team's success, I am the only sheriff from Michigan to ever be named National Sheriff of the Year by the National Sheriff's Association.
Democrat Lisa Brown was reelected to the position of County Clerk and Register of Deeds after defeating challenger Tina Barton by 84,000 votes.
I'm running for re-election to continue providing an accessible, efficient, transparent, and fiscally responsible office to the residents of Oakland County, and to ensure our elections are accurate, secure, and fair. I have saved Oakland County taxpayers millions of dollars while increasing efficiency and access. As a matter of fact, for the upcoming budget, I have reduced expenditures by over $600,000. I believe that just because you have money doesn't mean you have to spend it, especially when it comes to taxpayer dollars.
In the race to fill the position of treasurer vacated by Andy Meisner, Democrat Robert Wittenberg defeated Republican Joe Kent by more than 54,000 votes.
Now, for the past 6 years, I've served as a state representative in southern Oakland County. It is an honor to represent the same communities in which I grew up and where my wife and I are raising our 2 beautiful children. I attended Berkeley High School and I played football and baseball against Lake Orion, so please don't hold that against me. In the Michigan House of Representatives, I serve as vice chair of the House Insurance Committee and on the House Tax Policy and Financial Services Committees. I also served as the vice chair on the House Financial Liability Reform Committee for 2 terms. These roles have given me excellent insight and experience with Michigan taxation, finance, and insurance policy that I will take with me to the office of Oakland County Treasurer.
And Republican Michael Gingell will continue to represent the 1st District on the Oakland County Board of Commissioners after defeating Democratic challenger Michelle Bryant by 5,600 votes.
I've had the pleasure and the honor of serving you at the county for the past 14 years. During that time, we've invested in our economy, supporting the businesses that are here, and working to bring others in. We've worked on driving up our house values, making sure that one of your main assets continues to grow. We've opened up parks, land, and natural assets so that all the citizens have the ability to access them and enjoy them. We've also faced times of challenge where we've needed leaders with the right temperament and the right level of wisdom to make the tough decisions.
In local races, the Orion Township Supervisor, Clerk, and Treasurer all ran unopposed. 6 candidates vied for 4 seats on the Orion Township Board of Trustees. Republicans Brian Burney, Julia Dalrymple, Michael Flood Jr., and former Chamber of Commerce Director Kimberly Urbanowski were all elected, defeating their Democratic challengers. In the village of Lake Orion, voters were asked to fill 4 seats on the village council. Receiving the most votes was former police chief Jerry Narsh with 814 votes. Michael Lamb, Sarah Luxinger, and Ken Van Portfleet were also elected. Voters also approved the legalization of marijuana facilities and establishments with 1,122 yes votes to 597 no votes. And finally, Lake Orion voters were asked to fill 4 seats on the Board of Education. Incumbent Scott Taylor received the most votes with 8,720. He will be joined by Birgit McQuiston and newcomers Susan Flaherty and Daniela Brissett. The newly elected Village Council members were sworn in via Zoom during their meeting on Monday, November 9th.
I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear
That I will support.
That I will support
Constitution.
Constitution
Of the United States.
of the United States
And the Constitution of this state.
and the Constitution of this state.
And that I will faithfully discharge.
And I will faithfully discharge
The duties of council member.
the duties of council member
In and for the Village of Lake Orion.
in and for the Village of Lake Orion,
County of Oakland.
County of Oakland,
The State of Michigan.
State of Michigan,
According to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
All right, you are all now official. When we get together, I see you, we will have, I will provide you with a copy of your oath of office, and once received the certificates of election from Oakland County elections, I will also provide those to you. Those will be distributed after the canvass is complete.
Victorious Orion Township candidates will be sworn in during a ceremony on November 20th, and the school district will have a public swearing-in ceremony for its newest board members during their first meeting in 2021, which is scheduled for January 13th.